Hello everybody and welcome to another video. Today we'll be covering a very simple upgrade, which is to replace the standard Bowden tube with a Capricorn tubing instead. As always, do this mod at your own risk, and I'm in no way responsible for any damages that may occur. So why do this upgrade at all? Well, as it turns out, it can often prevent problems before they appear. As some of you may already know, there's quite a few cloned hot ends on the market, and this does create quality control issues as a result. I've actually had the Bowden tube of my CR30 and Sovol SV1 constrict so much that they completely stop extruding material. In most cases, this can be a minor inconvenience, however, in others it can be more serious. On my CR30, the Bowden tube was actually burnt within the hot end and caused the filament to puncture the Bowden tube itself. Most standard Bowden tubes are known to release extremely toxic fumes when heated past its recommended levels, so this was of a great concern to me at the time. This issue is caused by the heat from the heater block creeping up the Bowden tube, and this is known as heat creep. This is pretty common in most hot ends that come with questionable quality control. However, it can also happen at higher end models as well. On my CR10 V3, for instance, I had the same issue when I had added an all metal hot end from a well-known company. The most common methods for dealing with this issue is to upgrade the Bowden tube to a Capricorn one, and it's something that I recommend most people do at some point since it's a very simple upgrade. The Capricorn tubing is made from a high quality PTFE tubing, along with normally some lubricant within the tubing itself. Since the tolerances are much tighter, there tends to be less chances of the filament bending within as a result. A standard Bowden tube has a maximum temperature of 230 degrees, while the Capricorn can go as high as 260. In order to do this upgrade, you should only need one tool. However, you have two options available. The first is to use side snip pliers to cut the tubing to the correct length and then reopen an opening using the tip. You'll reopen the tubing by using a circular motion while gently reshaping it to its original opening size. The second method is to use PTF Teflon tube cutter to get a clean cut at the end of the tubing. Although the tube cutter does give a cleaner cut, you may still have to reopen an opening of the tubing slightly after having cut it down to the correct size. The fittings which help hold the tubing in place are what allow the movement in only one direction when they are fully functioning. Putting the tubing into place is the easy part. However, to remove it, you must apply downwards pressure on the collet of the pneumatic joint. Applying this pressure helps move the gripping teat out of the way, which in turn allows the tubing to be removed. Before we start swapping out the tubing, we first need to prepare the machine by doing a cold pull. A cold pull helps remove the debris that might be in the hot end and is a highly recommended step to help ensure that the tubing goes in all the way during assembly. Although I prefer to use TPU while doing this, PLA will also work, but you have to be careful not to snap it in the process. To start things off, if you don't have any filament already loaded into a machine, you'll first have to preheat the nozzle so that you can feed some filament through the hot end. Once the filament has been fed through, you can then let the hot end completely cool down. Once it's cooled down completely, you'll then restart the heating process while tugging on the filament at the same time. As the hot end heats up, any residue will be dislodged when the filament is pulled out at a low temperature. As you can see, I did this process with both TPU and PLA with the same results. Once again, just make sure not to snap the filament when doing this step. To replace your Bowden tube, you first remove the existing tube from your device. Some machines use a small clip to hold the collet into place, while others sometimes use a zip tie as an alternative. So make sure to remove this before taking out the Bowden tube. You'll then take this tubing and use it to measure out the replacement Capricorn tubing. By either using the side snip pliers or PTF Teflon tube cutters, you'll then cut the length of the tubing required for your particular machine, making sure to keep the cut as level and clean as possible. If needed, you can use the side snip pliers to reshape the tip of the tubing so that it's round. You can then begin feeding the tubing into the hot end assembly, making sure to put it all the way in, followed by the extruder. I hope you guys found this video useful and that now you're more comfortable undertaking this simple modification on your machine. Also, for those of you who actually want to use this video as a guide, keep in mind that I will be posting a transcript on my main website to make it easier to follow along. Alternatively, please feel free to slow down the video by hitting the gear icon on the bottom right hand corner of your screen to change the speed settings. If you want to support this channel, please feel free to check out some of the merch on my website. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you guys soon. Thank you and take care.